Okay, so this video is about grace. Because we all need it. And we all need to give it to ourselves. I've been showing up here about 6 days now. And it's not really like, ideally, yes, if I can post every day, that's really what I've committed to. But I'm also not going to be a drill sergeant on myself and let the ego come in and snatch and give me a guilt trip about missing because, I had, mom duties or things came up. I met up with friends. We stayed at the park too long and then I didn't get to record. Whatever it is, I'm not allowing those excuses to stop me from showing up here, to stop me from connecting with you guys, to slowly, just begin to flourish on a space like YouTube, on a space, on this platform that is here to allow us to walk together, allows us to come as we are, and share what's on our hearts, and then find the people that align with that are ready for that are also seeking to connect with others and even maybe see examples of what they're inspired to do. I know I definitely in the last month or two, so 6 weeks about, whatever I've seen on YouTube, there have been consistent signs of getting on here. And it spoke to my heart, like I know I've been guided. I've already been on here, but to show up in this way, right? In this capacity, to really share from the heart, to speak, to do long form, to not be afraid of the long form, all of this. This is a big step for me. And I say grace because it's a process. And I think it's only normal and only expected that things are going to come up, that challenges may come in between, that our mood may not be the best every day, that the excitement is going to move up and down. And that's when grace comes in. That grace that I personally experienced, that God gives us, we have the ability to give it to ourselves and to others because we carry God's light. Yeah? It's not just for others that we give grace. We give ourselves grace in our own processes. I mean, just any mother knows, any parent knows how much you have to learn to give yourself grace because you're figuring it out. It's like a huge, grand experiment. You are doing it and figuring it out and making the best decisions as you move along, right? With your child, you are figuring it out. I definitely did that, right? I knew when I was pregnant. I never knew before I was pregnant. I didn't have any plans. But then when I got pregnant and then I knew I was going to have my baby and I knew I was moving back to Miami because I lived in Germany almost 8 years. And so 333 as I say that. And so it was such a beautiful time for me, but I also knew it was time to come back. And I suddenly knew I wanted to have a natural birth. I wanted to give a natural birth. That was my desire. It felt very real, very true to me. Like it was like the sense of really feeling like a woman, and like knowing how women did it for years before all these medicines and all these things. And it's nothing against medicine. Yeah, my dad's a doctor, so. But if I could do it the natural way, if it wasn't possible, if something got complicated, then that's why we have other options. But if I could prepare myself to do it the natural way, I would. And I did. I had a doula, and I ended up having, only getting to the doctor, to the hospital, and seeing the doctor for delivery for 2 hours. It was no more. I made it to the hospital by 10 o'clock in the morning, and my daughter was born at noon. And not every story is different. But what I want to say is that like things unfold when we're just listening to what we are, to what our heart is telling us, when we're following really what's guiding us, what feels excited, what feels true. to us in any given moment. That is freedom. That is authenticity. And so grace is something we give each other and ourselves throughout, in the day-to-day, in the, is this pregnancy gonna turn out? Like, is this delivery gonna turn out? Am I preparing enough? I can only do the best I can today. Oh, these cramps, my body, I feel bloated. Like that, yeah, I could only work it out day to day to day. And that's where grace comes in, where we give ourselves understanding. That's another word would be compassion, right? Like just like breathing into it, settling into the present moment. And it's almost like, you know, how would God see me in this process? How would love judge this process that I'm clearly judging myself in? Or I may not be having a good day and I'm making decisions based on this good day, but I know truly I want to show up here. Because the easiest thing would have been not to show up. The easiest thing would have been to let my day get a hold of me, you know, and then, you know, I should have done it. I know I really wanted to do it and I didn't show up for myself. And even then, there is always time. There is always a new opportunity to show up, to do the thing we want to do, right? To be that person. And I talk a lot about showing up for yourself, not so much to like get things done off the to-do list so that you can reach a certain goal, but more, what are the practices? What are the habits? What are the things that fill your cup? And you know will naturally, right, lead you to be and connect with the person you know you truly are, that's unfolding for you, right? That highest version. And so the Spirit's always guiding us to our highest version. And then in the in-between, in the day-to-day, that's where we choose again, and we choose again, and we have grace with ourselves and whatever process we're exposing ourselves to, because the ego will come in, right? That little gremlin will come in. Self-sabotage will come in. Oh no, it's not that big of a deal. Like maybe I shouldn't even do this whole thing. I did a couple videos. You know, whatever the thoughts are, who am I to share my story? Who's gonna listen to me? And that dialogue is old news. We're not here for it. Yeah, we can recognize it. Oh yeah, that's what I'm hearing. Oh, these thoughts are coming up. Interesting. But that's not what's true to me. That's not what's true to that highest form that I know I want to embody, that I know I want to live out, that I know I want to shine to my friends and see the light and shine in them, right? Like, it's not just about me shining, it's about all of us shining. And it's about living up to that, because the way we're actually teaching in every moment, the Course in Miracles says we are always teaching. No matter what you believe, what you're saying, how you're acting, with the way you are, with the words you use, with the actions you take, with your demeanor, you are teaching the world all the time. And so we're teaching and we're learning. We're teachers and students all the time. So it's just interesting because we can be an example of the light. We can give ourselves grace, or we can fall into the pattern of, you know what, who am I? I'm not good enough. Definitely been there, right? Like, and who's interested? Who would want to see me? Or not even maybe that. Maybe it's just I'm too busy. I don't have time. Yeah, I have other things. And like, so what you're saying is you don't have time to do you, to be you, to love you. Because that's what we're saying, right? I don't have time to give myself grace. Absolutely, yes you do. You choose every moment of your day. And yes, there are priorities. Yes, they are seeming responsibilities and things that we get done. And yet, We are here to live a fulfilled life. We are here. If not, why are we buying the things that we buy? Why are we caring about where we live? Why do we care about the car? Because we think it's going to fulfill us. Why do we want that partner? Because we think it's going to fulfill us. So we are here to be fulfilled. We're just distorted. We've learned distorted ways of looking for that fulfillment. And so it gets back to the practices. It gets back to the things that I want to do more consistently, fill my days with, fill my weeks, my months, whatever it is, my mind with. Because that's what we're feeling all the time. What am I filling my mind with consistently? And how does that seep into my day? How does that seep into my week and into my months? And then months become years, and here we are. Years and years later. So, grace is a choice. Grace is something we give ourselves. Grace is a choice, and we can always choose again. It's a way to love. It's a way to say all is well. Don't be Don't be fooled by the things going on in your mind. That's not who you are. Don't be fooled by all these external to-dos. Take a break. Don't be fooled by the thoughts, we said the thoughts in your mind. Don't be fooled by the things people say. Don't be fooled by trying to fill a role and comparing yourself to other people on socials or in the park with your children or wherever it is, in school, other parents. Don't be fooled. Come back. Give yourself grace. Choose grace. Choose being here. Choose you. Choose the things that light up your heart. And go. Act, even if it's small. Even if it's 10 minutes. Even if it's 5 minutes. Act on it. Last night, oh man, I'm still in that big, deep trust, and it's taking over my mind because I'm 1 month out to the time when I'm supposed to be moving and finding a place. And this is evidence here on this video, that I still have not, found the place, or rather, it has not been revealed what our new home will be. And there are so many open options, and even moving out of Miami as an option and giving schooling in a different place to my daughter. Like, there's a lot of things that are open and it's still unclear. And I can see how it's beginning to take over my mind. I can see how it's like all I think about. And it's really taking me out of the present moment. And that voice of like, ooh, what if you don't find it? What if you're just going to be that irresponsible mom, or you're going to be that person who didn't take care of that beforehand, you didn't plan correctly, all the things. Because as you guys all know here, I have given my life over to the Spirit. Like, I am devoted to living this journey fully, authentically, and allowing it to be fully guided. And this decision about where my home is going to be, I want it to be guided. Jesus knows I want it to be guided. I know that I want love to guide it. And not like love, like, oh, it makes me feel happy. No. The mind of love, right? The mind that can see all things and show me what is the highest and best next decision, best next place where I can serve, where I can be of service, where I can come and bless, and where I can be served, and those around me can bless me, where healing is going to be involved, whatever that looks like. So that is where I am. And it's like where the rubber meets the road. It's happening. And so, boom, grace. Can I choose grace, or will I give myself pressure? Right? Giving myself grace gives me the moment to come back into the present moment. Like all these thoughts. You don't know where you're gonna live. You only have to the end of the month. Are you just gonna move where people are telling you, just get the next place, even if it's not that good, even if it's not a full yes, you'll be safe. And that grace. And grace is not only telling myself, it's okay, all is well. There's something that sees beyond all of this and knows that you are more beyond all of this and is still guiding you. Yes. And it's also giving it over. I hand it to you. I hand it to you, higher self, Holy Spirit, mind of love, Jesus, whatever you want to call it. All of them are equally beautiful and all connected to God and the love of God and what is always guiding us. And so I hand these thoughts over to you. I hand this belief over to you. And I ask that you allow me to see this all differently. That you empower me to give myself the grace again and again in these moments where I feel lost, where I feel like I can't see what's next. And it's taking over my mind. And it's not allowing me, or I can see how it's almost not allowing me to show up here. I almost didn't do the video and just got into work and into other things and errands and things that I need to do. And I'm like, no. I know that in itself, if there's anything I've learned in the year of 2024, is being aware of the pattern and how it comes up, the egoic pattern and the talk, that self-talk, and really, really noticing it and also being like, okay, I see you, you're there, I see you. What do you want to show me? And speaking it out, getting it out, right? Expressing it is so, so helpful. And then seeing it kind of dissolves when you talk about it, or when you just face it, hold it, contain it. Then you realize it's not as big as it is. It's just another thought. But before, it used to guide your actions. Before, you used to believe the thought. Before, you thought you were at the will of these ideas, of people's opinions, of whatever it was. But today, you're not. You're free. And you're not just free in general, but you're free to choose again now. Choose grace now. Choose the Spirit again now. Because the call is always to come back to that devotion, to that divine guidance, to that divine connection, to that rest. And that is giving yourself grace. Connecting with the Spirit is giving yourself grace. It's reminding you of who you are. And it's resting in that greater version of you that is still unfolding, that already lives in that home, even though these are all things of the world and experiences. And yet we're here to contain all of it and experience all of it. Not to make it good or bad or better, but just because it's what we're here to do. It's part of our script. It's part of our story of freedom. It's part of our uncovering and unfolding of love. That is what it's here for. That is what we're here for. That is what the human experience is gifting us. A roadmap back to who we are. And grace is the hand that holds us along, right? As we continue to move along, as we continue to walk together, to discover ourselves, to seek that fulfillment, however it looks, to make that next step. It just came to me with the sound of that plane. It's like, just fly high, above all of this seeming stuff that's going around. You Get high above it. That is the grace. Release yourself from what's here and falling for what's here and all the little things. And yet, show up for all of it, right? It's not about escaping it. But it is about knowing that grace is always here for you. And you just have to receive it. And so this video is me receiving grace and choosing grace and reminding you that you can choose it at any moment in time. It is a gift that is always given you, no matter the mood, no matter all the crap that's going on, no matter what has us down, situations around us in the world. Grace. Give yourself grace. Grab something to slow you down. Take a walk. Let the mind breathe. Let the heart expand. That's it. Thank you all. Until our next video.